honestly start to feel bad for the guy. And I know that sounds silly, but there are plenty of struggling athletes, and I'm not singling him out as, he's
Sure.
a good dude, but like that shouldn't matter that much. But what I mean is he's been so open and honest talking through these struggles, both mechanically, health wise, the ups and downs of it. And I do appreciate, as someone who writes about the team and talks about the team, someone who doesn't just go, we'll figure it out, but actually talks you through some of the stuff. But the downside to someone who's kind of willing to lay it all out there, even on television, on camera after starts, is, you can see how hard it hits them. You can see how hard, how much it weighs on them. And he's been a guy over the last 3 or 4 years who's been, I would argue, the Twins' most consistently solid starting pitchers, and one of the most consistently solid starting pitchers in the league. And I don't mean an ace, but I just mean a good, solid, you're going to get 5 or 6 competent innings at the absolute worst. He's going to take his turn in the rotation every 5 games. He's going to give you a 3-something ERA. He's going to eat up a bunch of innings, et cetera, et cetera. And that just hasn't been there now for basically the last month. Yeah. And I think the velocity being back up a little bit is a good sign. And it signals to me that he's either feeling better or they figured out some mechanical adjustments that can kind of smooth it out, even while he doesn't feel 100% physically with the hip and everything. But overall, these are just not, they're not real encouraging outings. But as we just talked about with Andrew Morris, it's one thing to say he's not helping the team right now and he's not helping himself right now. And that's true. What's the alternative? Like, it's very easy if this were a month ago and you had a healthy Pablo Lopez and everybody was pitching well, and you had both Zebby Matthews and Festa at AAA, or Festa and Simeon Woods Richardson at AAA, then maybe you go, look, this isn't clicking. You're not doing yourself any favors. Let's shut him down for 2 or 3 weeks. Let's let this thing calm down, and we'll try to get him back, for the second half. But who would replace him in the rotation? I mean, the rotation is struggling so much as is that, and Ober's not helping that. He's one of the biggest strugglers in the rotation. But I wonder how much that plays a part in how they're treating him. I mean, he's earned a chance to pitch through this, but I would argue he's kind of already now reached the point where, he's 4 or 5 starts where it's been pretty bad now consecutively. But I don't know who the alternative would be.
I mean, it was encouraging in that it was all one bad inning, right?
Yes. Third inning was bad.
The third inning was, he gave up 6 runs,
a
couple of home runs. It's completely snowballed on him. And you can see where, I mean, I think a little bit, similar to what we saw yesterday, as the Twins scored 8 runs in an inning. Pitcher is in there and he's throwing his 30th and 40th pitch of the inning. Yeah, things can snowball in a hurry at that point. He regained control after that, went 4 more innings after that. The strikeouts were up. There were no walks. So, I mean, there were some encouraging signs within it. We've seen that occasionally, but yeah, it comes back to, he's convinced, or he is trying to figure out a way to manage whatever he is working through on his hip, and it's not going away in a hurry. It doesn't sound like this is, I don't know exactly what the situation is, or we revealed the situation, like what would happen if he had a month off. But as you point out, it's a moot question at this point. Now, it might not be a moot question in a few weeks. Zebby Matthews could be back on the rebound here. Pablo Lopez could be back in August. And right now, if Zebby Matthews comes back healthy and looking good and such, and you take a look at the 4 other guys in the rotation, I mean, it's a little bit of a coin flip, and however it is, 3 weeks from now, however it is right now is not how it's going to necessarily be 3 weeks from now. We're not going to necessarily have the same view of all of these guys, but right now, the one that I would pick to take a little time off, try and get, I don't think you have to demote him. I think it's a matter of getting him on the IL and letting him work through this problem, is Ober. Like, he would be the odd man out if, Zebby Matthews was back today, which he is not. I just want to emphasize that. We don't, like you said, he's doing some throwing. That's it. So, I
mean, I think along those lines, the real question there is, you got 4 weeks to the trade deadline. If Bailey Ober is still in this type of rut or situation, does that mean the Twins should be trying to at least add some competent 4th starter or something like that?
I mean, a lot of that depends on where you think Zebby and where you think Pablo are going to be.
Yeah.
Right?
Although the reality, sadly, is Pablo ain't going to be back by the trade deadline. There's 0% chance of that.
No, obviously. Right.
But the reality is, if Bailey Ober doesn't start pitching better, and you're not going to have Pablo Lopez back before the trade deadline, and who knows, Zebby might be able to make a few starts before the trade deadline. The reality is, you get those things, it's more likely that the Twins lose some games between now and then, and maybe it's a moot point that way.
And welcome to the end of this video. There's lots more. For another, just click on one of these boxes.
Or click on this circle in the middle to subscribe to all of our Twins Talk.
Thank you.
Gleeman.